Guess what time it is?
It's Vlogmas! It's Vlogmas! It's Vlogmas.
It's Vlogmas.
Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. It is Vlogmas day 16. I cannot believe that it is almost Christmas. Like, what? I am coming to you from my car because it is the last Thursday that my children are up at their HomeLink programs. And it is a winter wonderland outside, you guys. I can't even begin. You can kind of see, like, it looks like it's raining. It's not. It is snow. It just happens to be melting on my car because we've just parked a little bit ago. But it is only like 20 degrees outside. So I have my hat on. I do have my coat. I took it off because it was kind of making me feel like I was suffocating. But I'm wrapped up in my blanket. I stopped and got myself a coffee. I was tagged in the Christmas Carol book tag that Nina from Wrestling with Books and Wrestling with Disney had on her channel. And she tagged Lindsay B, who is also Lindsay B on YouTube. And Lindsay tagged me. So I'm so excited to do this book tag. There are 8, kind of 9 questions. Question number 9 is to just tag some friends. So I'm going to go ahead and get through it. Because I'm in the car, I don't actually have any physical books to hold up and show you. So I will be putting pictures on the screen of the books I'm talking about. There are kids outside in front of me and they are trying to catch snowflakes on their tongue. They're so cute. Let's get on with our book tag. Okay, question 1 is The Ghost of Christmas Past, a book that was a childhood favorite. I honestly have so many books that I really, really loved as a child, but the one that always comes to mind, and I think it's because I have vivid memories of being in school and having like reading time where we would all sit down and our teacher would sit up and she would like read. And I remember having, I can't even for the life of me remember her name, but I remember having an elementary teacher who was like really great at reading books out loud, and she would do different voices and she would get really into it. And she read us The Boxcar Children. I wanted to run out into the woods and find an abandoned train and set up a boxcar train to live in so badly. Like, I wanted to do that so much. I had a great home life. I don't know why I wanted to like run away and live in a train, but like I remember wanting to do that. I loved that book growing up. And I also really liked the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew. I've always loved murder mysteries and mystery books as a whole, and so like Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys were my first mystery type books that I got really into. So yeah, but The Boxcar Children is a childhood book that was definitely a favorite. Question number 2 is Ghost of Christmas Present, a recent book that you think will become a all-time favorite. The kids and I have been listening to J.K. Rowling's new book, The Christmas Pig, and we've been listening to it on Audible. So I think I am going to buy the hardback edition of the book because it is really cute. But if you have kids at home, or if you just like interactive books, I definitely recommend that you get it on Audible because the narrator is amazing, but behind the narrator in the background, there's like all different kinds of sound effects. And so it almost feels like you're watching the story. And there's a whole cast of characters who do the narrations in the book. Our main character is a little boy whose favorite pig has been lost. And in true J.K. Rowling fashion, of the pig, has been shrunk down to the size of a toy, and on Christmas Eve he has been sent to the land of the lost, which is where all lost things go, and he is searching for his pig. And of course, like, it's just amazing, all of the sound effects and the characters and all of the amazing places. So there's the land of the lost, but within the land of the lost there are different towns. So there's Disposable, there's Bother It's Gone, for things that their owners have now decided that it's a bother that they're gone. And so it's just, we are absolutely loving it. And I can truly see us reading it multiple times, especially at the Christmas time. And I'm absolutely loving it on Audible. Like loving. Question number 3 is The Ghost of Christmas Future, a book coming out next year that you are really excited about. I actually have 2, and I don't know a whole lot about them. But one is called The Caretakers, and it is by Amanda Bester-Segal. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And it is about a group of 6 au pairs living in a Parisian suburb. And one of them gets arrested after the death of a child. Sounds really interesting. Right in that like mystery type genre that I very much enjoy. And then the other one is called The Woman in the Library, and it is by Solari Gentile. I apologize if that is incorrect. But the scream of a woman is heard throughout the Boston Library, and so the security guards tell everyone they have to stay where they are so they can all be questioned. And this group of strangers sitting at a table kind of strike up a conversation, and one of them is the murderer. So both sound really good. Like I said, I don't really know a whole lot about them other than those little blurbs, and so I'm really excited for both of those. Question number 4 is Bah Humbug, a book that everybody else loves that you cannot stand. They did make a movie out of it, and I love the movie because I like both of the actresses. The book was awful, and that is Julie and Julia. Oh, and I'm blanking on the author's name. I'll put it on the screen. But in the movie, the Julie character who sets out on a mission to cook her way through Julia Child's cookbook. It's like a true story that was turned into kind of like a more fiction-read story. The Julie lady is awful. She's awful. She's just not a nice person. She's extremely rude. I could not stand her character in the book, like at all. They made the movie out of it, and Amy Adams plays Julie in the movie, and she is much more lovable and sweet. And then, of course, Meryl Streep plays Julia Child, and oh my gosh, she's fantastic as Julia Child. So I enjoyed the movie, but they made Julie likable and sweet. In the book, she's horrid. I don't like her at all. I did not like that book. I read it years ago for a book club book, and I was like one of the only people. Everyone's like, oh, I loved it. I'm like, I hated it. I hated it. I did not like it at all. She was just one of those characters, kind of like Dolores Umbridge, where you just like everything about her makes you want to like jump out of your skin. I'm like, I can't handle her. She's awful. So Julie and Julia is my pick for a book that everyone else seems to love that you just can't stand. Like, no, I can't do it. I didn't like it. Number 5 is Bob Cratchit, an old reliable that you always recommend to everyone. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, you know that there are a couple of books that I always recommend to everyone. But the one that I would say I probably recommend the most, because it's a historical fiction, it's a good, story. It's not too long, but that is the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. I love this book. Love it. And the movie that they made on, I think it's on Netflix that they made of it, is pretty good. They of course don't have as much information in the movie as they do in the book. They don't cover as much. Some people find the book hard to read because a lot of it is written in the form of letters back and forth from the 2 main characters, but I actually really enjoyed it, and I recommend this book to everyone. Other books that I always recommend are The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. I absolutely love that book. It is my favorite of all the Kate Morton books. And then, of course, Wuthering Heights, because it is my favorite book of all time. Number 6 is Tiny Tim, an underrated book that you think deserves more love. And it's actually a book I read this year in March that, until I found it at a used bookstore last summer, when my husband and I were on vacation, we went into this little used bookstore and I saw it, and it just sounded kind of interesting. But it's called The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter. And it is such a good book. I think there are 3 books in the series. I'm currently still trying to make my way through the second one. They are larger books, but it's about a group of women who are all of the daughters or created creatures of some of literary's mad scientists. So Dr. Moreau, Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And they work with Sherlock Holmes and Watson to solve some mysterious murders. And they also try to uncover the truth about the society, which is called the Chemists Society, that their fathers were all a part of. And yeah, I had never heard of the book before, and I absolutely loved it. And I think it would make a fantastic like TV series or movie series, because each one of the characters, they all have their own kind of like quirky little personalities. Yeah, I love it. I think it is such a fantastic book. I'm also really enjoying book number 2. So that is definitely a book that I think deserves more hype. Number 7 is Why Today It's Christmas Day, a book that always gets you into the Christmas mood, aside from, of course, the Christmas Carol. I love the Nutcracker, so really any version of the Nutcracker story, whether it's a picture book or the new Nutcracker in the Four Realms book that Nicole gave me. That's Nicole of Irresistible Magic. I love books about the Nutcracker. But I also have to say that Little Women definitely always gets me into a Christmas mood. And you can usually only find it in a children's book, but we love 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. We actually have several different copies of it. And then we also have a pop-up book that is a Christmas story. And we've been reading that book to our children every year on Christmas Eve since my oldest was a tiny little baby. So those books definitely get me into the Christmas. And number 8 is A Muppet's Christmas Carol, your favorite book to film adaptation. So if we're going based on like a Christmas movie, even though it's not fully Christmas but does have Christmas scenes, I would definitely say Little Women. I think the 1990s version with Susan Sarandon and Winona Ryder and Christian Bale is my absolute favorite Little Women. And I think the Christmas scenes in that are amazing. Oh, and Kirsten Dunst and Claire Danes. I guess I should mention all of them. I love that movie so much. I think they did such a fantastic job. I haven't seen the newest one yet. Everyone I've talked to says that one's really good, but I will always just love the 90s one because I grew up watching that one. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a tiny bit of a crush on Christian Bale ever since he was in the Newsies. So I love that one. But then if we're talking non-Christmas, I think my favorite film adaptation of a book is Sense and Sensibility with Kate Winslet and Emma Thompson and Hugh Grant. Sense and Sensibility is my favorite Jane Austen book of all of them, and I love Emma Thompson. And I think she does a fantastic job because my favorite literary character ever written is Eleanor Dashwood, and she plays Eleanor Dashwood in that, and I love it so much. There is a Christmas scene in that one, so I guess that one technically still counts for a Christmas one too, because it does show Emma Thompson wrapping Christmas presents for all of their house staff, and she wraps them so beautifully with like fabric and ribbon, and I've always just loved the way old-fashioned packages look when they're wrapped that way. I forgot about that, so there's that Christmas scene as well. So those are my 2 favorite film adaptations of a book. And the last question, number 9, is tag some people. So I would love if my dear sweet friend Amber from the Most Magical 5 would do this. I would love to hear her thoughts on that. But I'm also going to tag Heather of the Disney Housewife, and I think I'm also going to tag Nicole, my lovely friend of Irresistible Magic and fellow book-loving reader. So this was so much fun. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for tagging me, and for Nina for recommending that we all do this tag. It was a lot of fun. So that's going to be it for my book tag questions. Stick around for the rest of the day because Kids and I both have to open our day 16 Advent. Yeah, hopefully I can drive home safely from here. It's about 45 minutes from our house where we are right now, and it has not stopped snowing. So we will say goodbye for now, and we will see you safely back at home.
Mom.
Farmer
Yeah.
and hiccups. Okay. Oh, this one's fun. What's that?
That's Momo, the flying lemur.
Oh, he's so cute. I like him.
And this is Uncle Iroh.
Uncle Iroh, and then Aang, and all of them. He's so cute.
He's a lemur bat.
He's a lemur bat?
Yeah, flying lemur bat. I dropped Jenny.
Oh, yay, we finally got Jenny. Yay, she's so cute. I like Jenny.
Hey Mom, now I have both of the couples.
Yep, so we're just waiting. So we're keeping our fingers crossed for Luna, Hagrid, and the other Weasley twin.
And George.
Yep. George, because we have Fred.
Oh, that's cute.
So we have another bone ring. Ooh, this one's really fun. It's almost like a peachy color. Very pretty.
I don't think that's a very calcified bone.
You could knock someone out. It's like the scene from You've Got Mail after she's gonna go to the mattresses and she's standing in her living room and she's punching the air, you know, Meg Ryan, because she's gonna go to the mattresses.
Oh yeah, and she like punches up. She's like,
Yeah. Well, as you can see, we made it safely home. We actually ended up leaving 2 hours earlier than we normally would because the roads were getting pretty bad and my car almost went into the ditch. So I didn't want to wait and chance it, but we are home. And I'm gonna open up day 16 of my Murder Mystery Bookish Advent from Rachel. Today's quote says, "Crime is common, logic is rare. Therefore, it is upon the logic rather than upon the crime that you should dwell." Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The Copper Beach. So as usual, gonna open up my little ephemera pieces first and see what those are. So we have some new things in our ephemera today. We have this beautiful key. Oh, I like that. And then we have another one of those navy blue tags. And this really beautiful piece that has these like floral arrangement on it, and then on the back it has the tan fleur-de-lis. So pretty. Okay, today is definitely a book, but there's also something inside this one. Oh, we have this adorable little notepad that has mushrooms and I believe a raccoon. So cute. And there are little mini mushrooms up here at the top. I love mushrooms. My oldest daughter does too. Those are so cute. And then we got A Study in Charlotte. You've never seen Watson and Holmes like this before. And this is by Brittany Cavallero. Again, another beautiful book cover. This one says, "The last thing Jamie Watson wants is a rugby scholarship to Sherringfield, a Connecticut prep school just an hour away from his estranged father. But that's not the only complication. Sherringfield is also home to Charlotte Holmes, the famous detective's great-great-granddaughter who had inherited not only Sherlock's genius, but also volatile temperament. From everything Jamie has heard about Charlotte, it seems safer to admire her from afar. From the moment they meet, there's a tense energy between them, and they seem more destined to be rivals than anything else. But when a Sherringfield student dies under suspicious circumstances, ripped straight from the most terrifying of the Sherlock Holmes stories, Jamie can no longer afford to keep his distance. Jamie and Charlotte are being framed for murder, and only Charlotte can clear their names. But danger is mounting, and nowhere is safe. And the only people they can trust are each other." Equal parts tender, thrilling, and hilarious, A Study in Charlotte is the first in a trilogy brimming with wit and edge-of-your-seat suspense. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. I can't wait to read it. And on the cover, we have another last image of what looks like Sherlock Holmes. I think that's going to be it for today because I already talked a long time about my Christmas Carol book tag. So we will see you guys tomorrow.